Hey y'all, back with another video. This is part 3. I hope y'all are on point. Y'all follow me. I'm not moving too fast. The first video was the intro because I'm leaving in 2 days. Watch me clean up, blah, blah, blah. The one I just posted, part 2, that is telling you how I reconnected with Tony from knowing him already. Okay, now we on part 3. We're going to start from the point of us first seeing each other after reconnected via Facebook phone calls. Okay, so now we seeing each other. Come up, we kicking the bobos. Wasn't nobody thinking about being in no relationship. We just catching up, right? And he's telling me about what's going on with him, people he was dating, somebody he was getting ready to marry a few years earlier, somebody he was dating, talking about they wanted to have an open relationship and he wasn't with it, to me telling him about I just got separated in November from a man I was married to almost 7 years. Okay, so yeah, we was having fun and catching up on memories. Remember that night? We used to go to Chick Rick's, blah, blah, blah. You used to meet me at my job, and yeah, we had fun. You could be dancing, you know what I'm saying? Me not knowing who this person has changed into. Me just assuming and hoping and praying that he has evolved into a wise man. You know what I'm saying? I know he's going to have some flaws. I had flaws. That wasn't it. But I wasn't expecting to know what I found out later. Okay? So we had a good time when he came. Cool. And we talking all the time. And it's like the more we got to talking, the more good it felt. You know what I'm saying? It felt like maybe this God. Maybe having us meet, and it made me think about you, for me to reach out, for us to reconnect, because that's who it should have been. Sometimes it's the right person at the wrong time. It ain't always who we want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Anybody you ever dated or married to, it could have been the right person. It just wasn't the right time in their or your life. It's all reasons, kind of reasons. Sometimes it just ain't meant to be. So I looked at it like that, and it just felt good and stuff. And by like I said, my first husband being gone, we wasn't divorced, and we weren't even talking about divorce. I wasn't even thinking about divorcing him. But the more we talked, and Tony was saying how he had a good job with the city, and if we was gonna really start to connect and really build something and really keep dating, and and grow, and maybe who knows if we really get along and it work out, marriage. Just the things we were talking about. It would make sense for me to come that way as opposed to him coming this way, because he has more stability where he is, and for him to pick up and come out where I was, it'd have been iffy, because you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, and with all the things that was going on with me being separated, my daughter, the one that passed away in 2021, this here right now is 2016 we talking about. At that time she had some problems going on, and people was all against her, and it was like all on Facebook and going back and forth with each other, and it kind of broke her down. So she was ready for a change as well. And as we was talking, me and Tony was talking about me coming, to be with him and us growing this relationship. He mentioned, I know you're not going to leave your grandkids and your daughter down there, I know you're bringing them too, right? I'm like, I didn't even thought that far, but if my daughter want to come here, yeah, I ain't leaving them. You know what I'm saying? So it felt good to know that he was welcoming them. That made me really look at him like, okay, this my boy still, he my guy, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm supposed to have been doing. Now, was I in love with him? Hell no. I be telling a lie, how I'm in love with somebody I ain't seen since Hector was a pup. No, it was just the good memories, the good vibes, you know what I'm saying, the good energy that he was giving off, even though I'm looking him in the face saying alcohol, alcohol, alcohol to myself. So the first red flag is he came down one weekend, and this man was downstairs who lived in the building. He was a white man, and he had a white girlfriend, and I was letting my 2 grandkids walk to the store with Tony. The store's only 2 blocks away. He was going to get them some candy. They was both like, 7 and 8. They was big enough. And next thing I know, I heard hollering and screaming. Went downstairs, Tony cussing out this white man, talking about he called him a nigga. Boy, it was crazy. So they never did make it to the store. Scared my grandkids and everything. That right there was my first red flag. Remember in the first video I said, when I tell these stories, I'm going to take accountability and responsibility for my parts in it. And when it's time to talk about it, it's going to come up, and I'm going to take responsibility and accountability, like right now. That was a red flag. For him to not get angry or upset, like look at him funny if he really called him that, but the way he responded, he went overboard, and he didn't consider those children and how they felt. Being that they didn't really know him like that too. They wasn't used to nobody yelling, screaming, arguing. He didn't say, well, let me take his kids upstairs and, and vent. And then I would have stopped him from going back. But he just decided to do it his way. That right there, if y'all agree, get in the comments. That's my first red flag for me not to go no further with him. Or to at least have a real conversation about it. And I did talk about it because the police came and I'm like, you over here acting a fool. Well, I got to live it. This was before we even started talking about me and him being together. This was before then. So he apologized and stuff like that. He was calm. I'm like, you're a grown ass man. You can't go out here wilding out like that. And the police came, knocked on the door. I said, if they wanted to lock you up, they could. You couldn't even go back to work Monday. Then what? Come on now, that just was strange to me. And then another time he came, and Miss Liza, who lived upstairs, rest her soul. That's my girl. I mean, I was telling y'all about her. She passed away. She was down there, and then another one of my friends that I met through my daughter because they worked together. He came over, and he ended up giving the guy $20. I don't know what the guy was talking about, but Tony ended up giving him $20, and like it was no thing. And he looked like a compassionate person to me. I'm like, you don't know him like that. You looking out for him. So and then he would be sending me money. Every week he got paid. Every week. Was it every week or every 2 weeks? I can't remember. I think it was every week. But he'd be sending me money. And then we started talking about it. And I said, well, I'm going to save my money. And I'm just going to let my landlord know that I'm going to move. I ain't had no Section 8 or nothing, Tony, like I got the place. It's a 2-bedroom townhouse. I mean, it was a 2-bedroom townhouse. We needed 3, but it was a 2-bedroom townhouse. And we was just ready to go. I was excited. You know what I'm saying? I was excited. And I must admit, I ignored the red flag. That was the first one. The second was when he didn't want to go out when he came down there with me one day. Knowing we was supposed to be going out. That's why he came, to go to a party with me. But when he got there, he wanted to talk me out of going. And he acted like he had money. He didn't have no money. But, I had to put all that together after the fact. That was the second red flag. I should have known that even if somebody is a great person and got older and wiser, you still got to take time to vet so you can make sure. And I knew that I had no feelings for him. I was basing the way I felt based off the past, based off the fact that I'm thinking he is just as much fun and vibrant and everything that he was back in those days when he was 25, 26, and you know what I'm saying? Keep in mind I'm 4 years older than him, but I thought he was just a better version of himself. I was hoping that's what it was. And that was that little mishap with the arguing with the guy. And that maybe he did call her that and it made him snap. I didn't know Tony like that. And I didn't know the white man like that. I just know he lived in my building. And they wasn't the best fucking neighbors in the world. They wasn't, the shittiest ones. But only to each other. They ain't really mess with us. They try to say a little something. But you get them together, they leave you alone, So I didn't know what to really believe. So it was all new to me. But the point is, I know now I should have vetted him. Okay? So now let's fast forward to us actually getting hit. We got hit May the 1st of 2016, May the 1st. May 27th is the first time I seen who he really was, when he was in some girl's inbox on Facebook flirting with her. Now, I only been here 26 days at this point. And before I got here, we only had been really dating 4 months. So, yeah, that was quick. So, I take responsibility for that, accountability. Ignoring the red flags, moving too fast, assuming that he was a bigger, better version of himself before I really got to know what versions of him were good and which versions I could throw out. Or just decide, nah, I'm just going to be cool. That's my fault, dumbass. So, yeah, wow. I'm looking at the laptop on Facebook in the messenger because I realized it wasn't my Facebook logged in like I thought it was because I was on it the day before. So I just go pick it up because I ain't had no laptop of my own. He knew I was on it. He ain't no problem with it. We shared it. So I'm on there thinking this is my Facebook. And then I was like, oh, shit, this is Tony's. And then before I was going to get out, the natural reaction was to log out. But I was like, doop. But let me look. Let me see if he really on some bullshit. Why he try to act so charming and so serious. And, you know what I'm saying? Such a man's man. Child, he's in there flirting with a dyke. No shade, no disrespect. But she was getting them together like, no. Y'all stay tuned for part 4.